Lutheran Church, family and friends.
Good evening, Epiphany Lutheran Church and friends.
It is Friday night fun night. We weren't here last week, so we hope some of you will find us tonight or later this evening or tomorrow. But we are happy to be back with you. We want to say, I don't want to say Happy Memorial Day, as my cousin Larry reminded me, because Memorial Day is about honoring the soldiers who have fallen for our country, for our freedom, and we want to remember all those who mourn, who have lost loved ones this weekend. And the taps, it's the third annual year of playing taps at 3 p.m., whatever your time zone is. If you know someone who can play taps, it could be on a trumpet, it could be on a trombone, it could be on a violin. But we encourage people, and you can record it and send it to CBS News. But that's something that we started 3 years ago to bring back a remembrance of what Memorial Day is about. And speaking of which, I just looked up about taps. Did you know that taps was actually a piece? I think it's changed a little bit from what I'm reading, but it was actually a piece that was played during the Civil War to tell the soldiers it was time to go to bed. So taps did not start out as a piece to play at the end of, to honor a military person at the end of their life, but instead it was a call, turn out your lights and go to bed. And then it changed over time. And if you ever go to a service that a military person is honored, they will play taps at that. So I thought that was an interesting piece to read, but it started in the Civil War, but it's changed some. It's I guess either the tune or the tempo, but yeah, that's where it comes from. So we want to remember the families whose loved ones have been lost to war, and we also want to lift up the families who have lost their children and the two adults that were in Texas from the terrible shooting this past weekend.
More than that, the teacher's, her husband died of a heart attack after 2 days after.
Virginia, I didn't know that. Oh my God. That's good. Service after the Anyway, we don't want to bum you out till night, but today's Friday night fun.
I actually have a couple jokes, one to share and one from Linda Machansky of Epiphany Lutheran Church. Linda, I'll see if I can remember this for you. So since we had the conversation last night, the conversation goes about the one son who all he really wanted from his father. He says, Dad, he says, I just really want you to give me a car. And he says, son, he says, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. I will make sure that you can get a car if you do 3 things over this coming year. It says, number 1, I want to see straight A's in all your classes. Number 2, I want you to be able to get a job and to save up your money, put money in the bank, so that I can see money in the bank by the time the year is through. And he says, number 3, the son, you just got to cut your hair. And so the son went through the entire thing. And by the way, the father was a pastor. That was part of it. He had a reputation. But throughout the entire year, the son worked so hard. He ended up getting a job right away, and he was able to do this great balancing act between being able to work and save money and to do his classes, and he aced his classes. There were some, sometimes it almost seemed like he wasn't going to be able to do it. He aced his classes. He had that job. He saved up his money, and he came upon the graduation day. And he said, Dad, I've done exactly what you asked me to do. And he said, well, son, you're right. He says, you have got A's in all your classes. Good. He says, and you have gotten a job, and you've done a great job of saving money. Son, you never did cut your hair. The son looked at him and said, Dad, come on. He says, Jesus had long hair. Father looked at him and said, son, you may be right. Just remember, Jesus also didn't have a car. There you go, Linda. I hope I told it right for you. So, but my other joke comes from you that I actually, when I saw this joke, and it had been a long time. I had seen it quite some time ago, or just recently, and I submitted it to the group Warped Theological Humor.
Oh.
And they actually put it up on their site.
They did?
And it's from Emo Phillips. Do you remember Emo
Yes,
Phillips? Emo
yes.
Phillips. So Emo Phillips, this comes from Emo Phillips. He says, once I saw this guy on a bridge about to jump, and I said, don't do it. He said, nobody loves you. I said, God loves you. Do you believe in God? I said, are you a Christian or a Jew? He said, Christian. I said, me too. Protestant or Catholic? Protestant. Me too. What denomination? Baptist. Me too. Northern Baptist or Southern Baptist? Northern Baptist. Me too. Now, National Conservative Baptist or National Liberal Baptist? Northern Conservative Baptist. Me too. Now, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region or Northern Conservative Baptist Eastern region? I said, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes region. Me too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1879 or Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912? He said, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region of Council of 1912. So I said, die, heretic! And I pushed him off the cliff.
So in other words, not enough in common.
Not enough in common.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Those
There
people
you
that like
go.
to split hairs.
That's right.
Oh, goodness. Well, I was going to, since Christopher graduated last week, and we did do a little bit of it the week before, but I looked at some things that are traditions of graduation and where they came from. And so the first one is the graduation cap, which is called the mortarboard. And it's believed to have been developed from the beretta. Now, the beretta is a square, upright cap with 3 or 4 peaks. You often see Catholic clergy and academics wearing it, usually in red or black. And the caps were popular for students and artists to wear in the 14th and 15th century to show their superiority and intelligence. And originally, the mortarboard, called that because it's similar to the mortar board used by bricklayers, was only allowed to be worn by those who achieved their master's or doctorate degrees. Today, all graduates, not just those with master's or doctorate degrees, wear the mortar board. Although, oh, wait a minute, what was yours for the PhD? Did you have more the cap, the...
I think it was a cap.
I
Yeah,
have to look at
in fact, I
yours.
wore it 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't the mortar board.
Well,
But I mean, it's not the round, you know,
no,
like...
it's not the
there's-
round cap. No.
Okay, you didn't have that kind, okay. So then
I
the...
think you have to pay more money if you want down.
Hey, Cooper, get down! So, yeah, we let our animals come down when we come down to do this, but my cat decides she has to get into all my scrapbook stuff. Yes, no, you don't need to be up there, sorry. So the graduation gown, what began to be worn in the 12th century with the rise of universities. Since the original universities of the Middle Ages had poor heating, scholars wore long gowns with hoods to keep warm. Since most of the scholars were also clerics, they tended to wear their clerical robes. After all, clothing in the 12th century was rather expensive. The dress of scholars became highly uniform at Cambridge and Oxford by the time of Henry VIII. Schools dictated how their scholars would appear. Up until the 1800s, the color for the robes were black. In the 1800s, a system of colors designating what students had studied was developed. In higher education ceremonies today, these colors usually show up in the velvet edge on the robe. For instance, a graduate with a medical degree will have a green velvet edge, while a graduate with a law degree will have a purple velvet edge. And I noticed at Christopher's graduation last week, because his teachers wore their caps and gowns, that those who I think have masters, have a light blue edge piece in there. I don't remember what ours was.
I remember
Master's
that. I just know
Divinity.
that in terms of doctorate, when you got your doctorate gowns, it's different colors depending on what school they
Well, most schools are black, but Emory's is a light blue.
This actually goes different. I remember
is a
very clearly,
crimson.
and I remember very clearly Johns Hopkins, where my Old Testament professor graduated from, is this ugly people
more.
that ever went to Johns Hopkins, if you happen to be watching, pardon me for calling it ugly.
A lot of them still do black, but I mean, like University of Chicago is kind of a, not like a faded tomato red with black. So I mean, different schools do have it, but there's a lot of schools that are still black, but then they have other things on them or whatever. But your look that you get has significance according if it's a bachelor's or doctorate, and the colors are what, you know, I think that's interesting. It comes from the 1800s. So, all right, class rank. Class ranks first appeared in 1835 when the U.S. Academy West Point had them made. First rings were designed to represent the school. All graduates of a particular school wore the same style rings. Eventually, they began to be personalized. Now, class rings are designed to represent the individual and style of the individual graduate. It's interesting because when I was in high school, yes, it was eons ago, but our class, we got our rings when we were sophomores, which a lot of people right now think a ring they usually get their junior year, but we got our sophomore year. But in my day, at our high school, we all had to agree on the same ring. Now, I only had 35, 36 in my class, so we weren't very big. But we all agree, and then you could personalize the stone and what was on the side. But it all had a cardinal, because we were West Pike Cardinals, and it was all the same style. So we all got the same style ring, whether we got small or big. I still have mine. Still love my ring. Couldn't get Samuel to get a ring. Christopher would wear a ring. You have yours on a keychain today. So, but I wore mine until I got engaged. I wore it for many years. And I still sometimes put it on and wear it because I love it. All right, your turn.
So when Mary said she was going to share about different traditions and where they came from, I decided to also look up graduation traditions. I decided to look up strange graduation traditions.
All right.
So different things. Hello. So Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts.
I know Smith College. It was an all-women's college.
Yeah.
And one of my pastors went to Smith College.
There you go. Well, while most graduates receive their diplomas when their names are called as they walk across the stage, at Smith College, the graduates get a random diploma with any one of the 700 classmates' names.
Oh my God.
They then go over to a field on campus where they form the diploma circle. It's a century-old tradition, and the graduating class stands around in concentric circles while diplomas are passed from student to student until everyone gets her diploma.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
So,
I like that.
There's so.
Yeah, that's really neat. Wow.
So in Wellesley College, the students have a tradition of racing wooden hoops down Tupelo Street.
On graduation day?
On graduation day, yeah. So there's that. Let's see, the one, let me pull this up. I did look up. This is in, there's, I guess, several in Europe. One of the traditions that ends up happening in Europe, in Italy, Argentina, and Oxford, what they have is they have what they call publicly covering the grad in trash, also known as trashing. In Italy and Argentina, they make it a family affair where graduates are showered with ketchup, cream, and any other sort of edible item to make their status as a graduate publicly and nauseously obvious. It's in Oxford that the tradition of trashing, as it's called, has become a well-refined art. After a person's final exams, they're often showered with champagne, whipped cream, confetti, sprinkles, glitter, and more disgusting substances. This person who actually is from Oxford says that one friend of his was drenched in milk. And it's become such a distinct part of the graduation process that the university has had to pass ordinances to regulate it. Confetti has to be biodegradable. Trashings have to take place away from the main roads. And woe betide you if you do it anywhere near an exam still taking place. There you go. Trashing in Oxford. students have a rather bizarre tradition in which Yale tour guides that students rub the toe of the statue of the former Yale president, Theodore Dwight Mosley. So anyway, people.
Well, you're reminding me, so I had to get dental work done yesterday, and there was a young man there who was following around my dentist for the day, and come to find out he is a medical technology student at Georgia Tech, and he's thinking of being a dentist. And so I was talking to him because I worked at Georgia Tech for 5 years. My boys were born. I was pregnant. I had both my boys when I worked at Georgia Tech. So we are a Georgia Tech family. And I said to him, do you know about George Purdell? He's like, no, I never heard of it. So I looked it up because I remembered. George Purdell was created during the 1920s when a person was accidentally enrolled for the same class twice. And so what happened was George Purdell is not a real person, but this person did twice the work, changed it a little bit, where George Purdell got a grade. And then George Purdell became a famous non-person, but at one point George Purdell was enrolled in every single class at Georgia Tech at one time. George Purdell got a degree from Georgia Tech. George Purdell was on one of the teams at Georgia Tech. And so George Purdell is this non-entity that's been around almost 100 years at Georgia Tech and is still, but he had gone to another school and transferred. He's been there 2 years, and I said, so have you heard about George Purdell? And he's like, no. And I'm like, because when I was there, Christopher was a baby, and one of the kids worked for the paper, and they took Christopher's picture, and they would ask students questions, and it was, who are you going to vote for president? And Christopher's answer was, no, neither one. I'm going to vote for George Purdell. And so it was really, really cute. So.
One of the traditions at the college that I went to wasn't a graduation tradition, but you could always count that somewhere Schiller was going to make an appearance. That long ago in the history of Carleton College, there was a bust that was there of Friedrich Schiller, the German philosopher, and that bust got stolen. And so the bust of Schiller, no one ever knows who has Schiller. The Schiller gets passed on, but Schiller ends up making appearances in a whole bunch of. Schiller has been known to even go on with some of the student abroad sort of trips. Has been known to show up in Europe, and has been known to, but oftentimes will show up either at graduations or at other speeches or gatherings. Schiller always tends to make an appearance.
That's very interesting. Okay, so I found out about the tassel. The tassel's been along the camp for centuries, but it's only in the last 40 or 50 years that it's been moved from the right side of the camp before receipt of the diploma to the left side of the camp after receipt of the diploma. Moving the tassel from the right side to left symbolizes the movement from being a candidate of a degree to a recipient of the degree. Let's see, what's the other one? Oh, the diploma. You may have heard of the diploma being called a sheepskin. Originally, the diplomas were handwritten on paper-thin sheepskin before being rolled and tied with a ribbon. The practice ended about 100 years ago when diplomas began to be printed on parchment paper instead, and the sizes were standardized. Diploma covers were developed to protect, store, and display the diploma. But the idea of rolling a diploma persists because of this old tradition. Often when a ceremony is held before grades are finalized, a rolled ribbon, tied paper is handed to the graduate to represent the diploma that will be mailed to them after the ceremony. And then the throwing of the cap. I know some schools that's popular. It says it. Tossing the cap in the air after graduation was started by the U.S. Naval Academy in 1912. Prior to 1912, graduates of the Naval Academy spent 2 years as midshipmen and need to keep their midshipman hats to wear. However, in 1912, the decision was made to immediately commission the graduates as officers. The graduates no longer needed their old hats because they would now wear new officer hats. So the old midshipman hats were thrown into the air after the commencement ceremony. Throwing caps in the air quickly became popular, resulting in the tradition of graduates of all kinds tossing their caps into the air after commencement. That's my fascinating ones, and I have some jokes. Well, what else do you have?
I just have two more things for you. So at Williams College, you talked about throwing caps. At Williams College, what they do is they go to the top of their chapel, Thompson Chapel, and they throw watches. So that is the tradition at Williams
I guess
College.
I'd have
is
to
throw
go
watches.
watch to that.
Yeah, because I feel like, how expensive is that school?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, the School of Architecture, they end up building 3D replicas of buildings, bridges, Ferris wheels, and more on top of their cap when they graduate.
Cool.
And Liberty University, the nursing students, after graduating, burn their scrubs in a bonfire.
Wow, that's pretty smart.
So,
You know what I don't know, and I'm really curious on it, you have to look it up. So when one of my dearest friends graduated with her nursing degree, we went to college at what was then Northeast Missouri State in Kirksville, Missouri. Is now the Truman State University. It was named after Truman, even though he never visited Kirksville. But that was to distinguish the college because it had become so well known as one of the best kept secrets of an excellent education for a very low price, and was picked as the liberal arts college, public arts college of Missouri. So they changed the name. Because there was northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest Missouri State universities. Anyway, my girlfriend who graduated with nursing, even when we graduated, nurses did not wear caps. Every one of them was presented a cap at their graduation. And I wonder if they still do that. So if anybody has family that is a nurse that has graduated
Truman State University.
last 5 or 10 years anywhere from nursing school, let us know if they still, they get a pin and that has their school on it, I believe, and they wear that. But they also, I just want to know if they still get a cap, a nurse's cap, because in the 60s they always wore, and the early 70s they always wore their nurse's cap. That's what designated them as a nurse. But that hasn't been worn in a very long time, so I'm curious about that. All right, I got a couple jokes about graduation. How did the culinary graduate's final exam go? She says it was a piece of cake. I like that one. All right. Why was the technical degree so upset after graduation?
Why was it?
She wasn't open to a service level degree. What did the boy say when his mom asked him why he didn't pick up his phone at his graduation? I couldn't pick up because the reception was wrong. Graduation speech. I would like to thank the internet, Google, Wikipedia, Microsoft Office, and copy and paste. Thank you, Red Bull, Google, this one must have been a college student, vodka, and Wikipedia for making this possible.
Yeah, I hope it's not like anybody younger than high school.
Well, you sure would hope not,
Yeah.
right? You sure would hope not. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Noah.
Noah who?
Okay, that's a weird one. Okay, that's not. Hang on, wait a minute. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Before
who?
you take the diploma, shake the dean's hand. Why didn't the pirate make it to the dean's list when he graduated?
Okay.
All of his scores were in the C's. How did your brother graduate at the top of his class with a major like chemistry? I think he felt like he was finally in his element. I know that's a key one. Isn't it?
Always love science puns.
What did the fashion mogul say to his son after he attended his convocation ceremony?
Okay.
I'm extremely proud of you. What did the dessert say when he realized he was going to see his friends at his convocation for the last time? I do not want to graduate. What happened when two seniors were sent to detention for making some horrible They were punished. What should you mention to someone who has just graduated from college? Congratulations on your degree. And the rest is
And the two things I would tell you is what I always remember, and this is the encouragement for those that might struggle in the college. Sam, do you know what they call the guy who finished last in at medical school?
No, what do they call him?
Doctor.
And we always said in seminary, do you know what they call a seminary student with C's?
Pastor.
Pastor. Yeah.
And then the last thing has nothing to do with graduation, but just because it's fun to say, is we celebrated yesterday Ascension,
Yes.
the Ascension of Jesus,
I did on Wednesday.
which from Epiphany Lutheran Church, Barb Neiman shared with us that if you're in Germany, the Ascension is known as Himmelfahrt. So happy Himmelfahrt, everybody!
I think that's hilarious.
It is
I love
pretty
that.
hilarious. I think we need to get Christopher down.
All right, I'm gonna go
We are going to back ourselves. We are going to back ourselves up completely about 5 months plus. Because Christopher is going Christmas on us. So since have been having Christmas lately, hey, he just graduated. He gets to choose on all this. So because you definitely won't be seeing us over the summer, Christopher gets to choose what's going to go on here. So.
All right.
Christopher will tell you what it is, but it is one you're actually, if you know your Charlie Brown Christmas, you're going to know this one. So
Your Christmas time is good.
it's
I can sing a little bit of it.
you can sing a little bit with it. Come on, Christopher.
Yes, sir.
You ready? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Come on in. Come sit down with us. Okay?
Good evening.
So say good evening to everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, why don't we also thank everybody who sent you a graduation card or came to your party?
Yeah.
You say thank you?
Thank you.
Say thank you for coming to my party.
Thank you for coming to my party.
Thank you for giving me a graduation card.
Thank you for giving me graduation cards.
And now, Christopher, what do you want us to sing tonight?
Charlie Brown Christmas original soundtrack of Christmas Time is Here vocal.
Okay, Christmas time is here. The vocal of Christmas time is here. You ready?
Right.
Okay, here we go.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all and children call their favorite time of year. Snow is in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide vine on your side, and joyful memories eager. Christmas time is here, families drawing near. Oh, melancholy sings as you're
Thank you, Christopher.
You're welcome.
There, just so you can be all ready for Christmas. So, Sam, I don't even know what you're playing tonight.
I tried looking for a graduation song, so there aren't many. Yeah. Baby boy, come here. Yeah.
Okay, let's sing, Sam. I'm sorry.
What we're saying?
So this is, let me go back to the title. It's called My Wish. It is a song for graduates or like kids growing up. It was the best like graduation guitar song I could find. I thought it sounded pretty good, though it is like country, so I kind of did it up a little bit different, but it worked.
All right, let's hear it. announcements. The main one to let you know about is please remember that we are going to one service on Sunday. So there will be the adult Bible study on Revelation. We'll be having its last class at 9 o'clock, but we will have one worship service at 10 o'clock. So if you come at 8:30, we're going to be really early. If you come at 11, you're going to be late. We will live stream. We'll live stream the service at 10 o'clock, but just know that we'll have the service at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
And it's confirmation service. It's worship with confirmation this Sunday. So we expect some visitors, and we're looking forward to it. And we have a reception afterwards for everybody to come to, and it will be at worship will be at 10 a.m. We'll be in person, but we will also be online for those of you who don't live close, or are able to come. We hope you will catch the service that we will have online. So we will have 4 young people who will be confirmed, and we hope that you're able, that you will come and join us for the service. I will have devotions next week on Tuesday night only. There will also be worship on Wednesday night online, but we are leaving for Senate Assembly on Thursday, so that we will have no devotions or Friday night fun night next week. And then Pastor David will have to decide if he's going to do Friday night fun with me the next week,
I'll figure it out. I'll be on staff.
or if I will be doing it alone. Now, you did a couple times without me,
That's it.
so I could do it without you more than fine,
We'll
but
figure it out.
yes, we will figure it out. But we will definitely have Friday night fun, even if it's just me and the boys, 2 weeks from tonight. But we will not have it next week. And devotions on Tuesday are at 7 p.m. Epiphany has on Tuesday too, also.
Yeah.
And our Wednesday night worship will be online. It'll be at 6:30 p.m. So, if you will please keep Ken Bell and Elaine in your prayers. Ken has been very sick, and also continue prayers for David Friend as he recovers from being in the hospital, and also for Susan as she takes care of him. And also prayers for Gabe Pedrati's daughter-in-law, who is in the hospital recovering from surgery and infection, and her son Vic is, it's his wife, and it's Amy, and she is recovering. She has an infection and pneumonia, and so we want to just lift up prayers for her very much so too, for healing for her. So,
Along with that, please keep Ellen Thomas in your prayers, as you've heard from me before, and Ellen has been put on hospice, and so she is in the last stages of her life. So we ask we just keep Ellen in our prayers, and Bertie and the whole family in our prayers. And also, please keep Corey Irks in your prayers. Corey's sister Carla was in a severe car accident last Friday, and they were injured in the last
well, we wish you a wonderful weekend. We hope that you, like us, will remember and celebrate and give thanks for the many soldiers who have given their life for our country. And we pray that if you are traveling, you have a safe passage wherever you're going, and when you come back. And now, may the Lord bless you and keep you.
The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you.
The Lord look upon you with favor and give you peace. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night and a great weekend.